Ladies and gentlemen, the long it waited, just try to put yourself in our shoes. We, Coach Guns and I, Sarah Guntner, from the Oakville Tigers girls soccer team, it's just unbelievable that we were up in the stands at Maryville University to watch the high school St. Louis High School Girls Championship game, and whatever happened, we recorded it, but it didn't take, and we have pictures to prove it, and we were there, and so Sarah, Coach Guns was so nice to say, hey, we could do a redo. We could, this is a redo moment. So we're going to do what we did, but you have to picture us. It's not in a rainy day. I don't know where you're located at, Sarah, but I'm in Balloon Boom Studios in downtown Holly Hills. And it's. And we just had a blast. I think we were very entertaining and informative, and we're going to do it again. How about it?
How about it? I'll say it's very rainy where I'm at, which is Oakville High School right now.
Yeah.
So, April showers bring May flowers.
There you go. There you go, sister. I didn't know you had a singing voice.
Yeah. I try.
All right, then. So here you go. Under full disclosure, would you have liked to have played at Maryville University or Denson? Or, I mean, that was quite a nice little pitch they had there, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. Honestly, I'm sad to say I've never been there before, even though I know the coach and I've sent players of mine there to play. But the vantage point there is beautiful and just a great location. And I heard just this morning that that's where the STL High School Soccer Girls Champions League Championship match will be in 2026. Just got that information this morning.
Well, to tell you, you have the pulse of everything that's going on.
Yeah, so it'll be a great site in the future for the Champions League.
Right on. And so if we do this again, I hope you're in the final. But if we do this, yeah,
absolutely,
is that I know where not to sit. We sat right behind that pole.
Yeah. Right. Anything between the 40 and the 40 we didn't see. So, I mean, maybe it's good that we're redoing it. No.
Yeah. It was like going to old Wrigley Stadium, or still, there was, you got to watch out for it, So, so there you go. We had the situation. It was, correct me if I'm wrong here, I remember it was a perfect weather.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, the wind and the temperature just made for great soccer. And everybody warmed up beautifully,
Yes.
And then they came out and when that Champions League song is playing and the referees, when the girls come out and they come up to the center line and they, expand. I come from show business, and I mean that is a theatrical moment right there. I mean, I myself, I had glasses on. I hope it covered my tears. I had some tears in my eye. It was quite something, and plus we sat right next to the speaker, so.
Right, we were in it.
Yeah. So, wow, okay. I had earphones on. I hope you were okay with it. But what do you think about that entrance? You've been there. I only watched it. What do you think?
You know, the international entrance to a game always makes things a little bit more real. Like we're in a tournament right now this week in Union, and we do that type of entrance. And although it's fun to do the regular one, where you just kind of every team does their own little thing, the way that they run out to half field. Doing the international entrance is always really neat, and then adding the Champions League song to it on top of the select ball being brought out by the referees, and it just kind of gives you that. I mean, if you don't have chills, even if you're not even a starter and you're just standing on the sidelines and you're part of that team that's made it that far, it really is just such a nice moment for everyone in attendance. I mean, it really just makes it become alive of what we're doing here with the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah. It's man, wow! I get goosebumps just listening to what you were saying because it's a lifetime. You never forget stuff like that.
Right? No, you don't.
Yeah.
And we all know how fast time flies, and you never know who's going to make it to any type of tournament, championship game, or any type of championship of anything. And just for those girls, Liberty and Cor Jesu, to be able to be the inaugural teams that make it to the championship match, and all the hard work that they did to get there, it's really really a cool moment for them, and they'll never forget it.
Yeah. And that you brought up, you're involved in the tournament at the Big Blue Cat tournament at Union, Missouri High School.
Yeah.
That's a nice facility.
Oh yeah,
Holy
Union is
cow, man.
right. I know all of their facilities are amazing. I don't know if you've ever been to even their middle school field is really nice. Yeah, so they're very lucky to have the facilities that they have. But yeah, no, we've been a part of the tournament. This is our third year where we've won it the past 2 years. So we got a big game tonight, semifinals against a really good Parkway West team. So it'll be a good night of soccer. Hopefully the rain can stay away.
Right.
But yeah, so we're excited.
On a full disclosure, I think any of those people that play either softball and or baseball at their diamond is qualified to play Major League Baseball, or at least going in the farm system. That's a magnificent ball field if you've seen it.
Yeah,
Were you
it
able to
surely
look?
is.
Oh my God! Oh my God! And once again, I'm putting Will certified to their concession stand. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
oh yeah, yeah. The two people that were doing it, I mean, they're just out of a Norman Rockwell painting, and the food was excellent. Everything was hot that was supposed to be hot. Everything was cold that was supposed to be cold. So, just for future reference, stop by. Tell them the whale sent you, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so here it is. It goes, and you get the introduction, and you hear that name, Maddie DiMaria, and
Hmm.
and then from that point on, uh, it's in your vision. If you look wherever you're looking, you either see her or you see someone that's trying to look for her because you know the ball's going to go there. Uh,
All
the
right.
the ball seems to have a relationship with Maddie DiMaria at her feet. Uh, uh, to be able to get in position, body position, to receive the ball, to scan, to look, to pass, to dribble. It's quite a sight. What do you say, Coach?
I mean, I know we kept talking about it at the match, but it truly is a sight to see what she does. She has, like you said earlier, check her shoes for magnets. I mean, it's like the ball finds her. I don't know if I think that's a part of it. Is she just has this knack to to touch the ball in a certain way where her first touch is I mean unmatched, and she knows, and before she even receives the ball, where she's going, what speed she's going to change into. She knows her surroundings. She knows where the defenders are around her. She's always man marked. So I think that also makes her such an exceptional player. Is if you're someone who is always man marked, in matches, it teaches you a different skill. It teaches you a skill of, I mean, think about being a player that it's not man marked really ever, and you still have to have good first touch. You still have to scan. You still have to know where you're going to go next. You still have to be able to pass the ball well, or take the ball into space, or whatever it is you're going to do with it. But she has to do all those things while being, marked. And if over time, you have that and that, it just puts you on a different level. And so, she has to hide the ball immediately, or she has to touch the ball into a certain space. And, just watching her do that and effortlessly. And then not only that, I mean, she's so selfless. So even when she, has the chance to take it herself or take players on and maybe even go to goal herself, a lot of the times she tries to find her teammates and pass the ball off for them to maybe, have the glory in the situation. So she's just a phenomenal player and a rarity, especially at her age. So it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, and they Liberty has a player, I believe, a Sophie Means.
Yeah.
That she's very attractive to watch. I mean, my gosh, her style of play is one that's, fifth and sixth grade girls, middle school, to say, hey, girls, this is how you play. This is how you play. Now, trying to play like that, if you don't achieve it, you really are a whole lot better than never having tried.
Right. Now, Sophie, I mean, in her own right, she's a forward player, plays the 9. She definitely also has that knack to, know where she's going before the ball reaches her. Her change in speed is what makes her different. She's got that quick first touch into space, great shot on the ball. When I was watching her actually, when they played a match before us, early in the season in the Champions League, I was just in awe by the way that she would take players on. I mean, she did a couple moves that I don't see a lot of high school girls do. And it was a sight to see. And actually, when we played them to, try to get out of our pool, which was probably one of the best games that we've played this season, sadly ended up tying them, which led them to go on. And, we lost the pool. But I had to man mark her because I knew that she was going to be so effective. And she still was very effective, even being man marked. So, I mean, she's also a phenomenal player, and it's fun to watch.
Well, Coach, if you didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck this season so far. To make it to that game, it's hats off to your coaching ability and what you're doing with the Tigerettes, the Tigers over there at Oakville High School. Wowza! We are Oakville Soccer. Anytime you see anybody with one of those shirts, WAOS, they smile up when you say we are Oakville Soccer. So,
Yeah.
so tip of the cap to you.
Well,
So,
thank you.
so it goes off, and one is not disappointed it doesn't have to wait. You really want to get there before the start of the game, because you're going to miss out on something right away. Uh, just the dribbling and just the space, and then you have the other Chargers that they give her excellent passes like peaches, so to speak, and the other teammates. It's not just a Maddie show. They have a pretty balanced attack, and their defenders they don't have to take a back seat to nobody, no how.
No, absolutely. I mean, in my tenure as a coach, we even talked about this. We talked about, other players that have been coming up through the ranks, like Riley Howard, who played for Lafayette a few years back. And she was also, one of those, just top players that made things just seem so effortless. But, you can't attribute all of their success just to one player. I mean, they also had a very strong team beyond her, and that's the same thing with Cor Jesu. I mean, you take away Maddie DiMaria, and yeah, you're taking away a huge force, but they still have a lot of great players that, it's a team sport. So, you can't just win with one person. And, they all work very well together, for their success.
Yeah, and those types of players, in my experience, they elevate the opponents. I mean, yeah. When you're playing against those types of teams, you're bringing your A game as much as you got the A game.
Right.
And,
exactly.
Yeah, and so that I know that playing with a style or learning taken from the best. That's what Barcelona does in their club. The first team all the way down to the 8-year-olds is that they play the same. What do you do? Why do you do what you do? There's a reason for it. And what do you want to do with the ball when it comes to you? And what are you going to do? It's the individual collectively building something. And I'm going to I hope you're sitting down because I'm going to try to impress you. Being a chemistry teacher, eutectic, where you have the all the chemicals in a certain order. And that's kind of like soccer. You got the scanning, the body positioning, the whole everything has to be in order. And if you do 3 in the place of 2 or vice whatever, if it works out, okay, forget about it, But you have to be like that. Did I dazzle you with some brilliance or baffled you?
Well, here, let me just throw something out there that's a little bit maybe abstract, but if you want to think of it in the terms of molecular, everything's like that. If you want to dive into, the micro world, everything has to be in its order, on a micro scale. And so if you think of anything that you're going to do, soccer-wise, just, waking up in the morning, doing the things, your routine, anything that you're doing, all of your cells, and even more microscopic than that, molecularly have to be in order for things to, be in its right optimal, situation in order for you to thrive. So, I mean, that whole theory right there makes a whole lot of sense. And if you think of it on the macro scale as being, on the soccer pitch, that's exactly right. I mean, it's something that I tell my girls, yesterday when I was talking to them about it at practice, about our big game today, I'm like, this season's been a very interesting one for us because we've been plagued with injury and we've had to adapt. And, we're not the usual team that we've been. because of the injuries that we've sustained. But we've been doing great things still. And I hope, in our future, we'll continue to do great things. But, in order for us to be successful, especially tonight against a really good team, we've got to all, be on the same page. We've all got to, be hot tonight. Like, some of my girls, they'll come out and they'll have a really hot game. And then some of them will have a lukewarm game or a cold game. And not everyone's on the same page. And so, when we look at the scoreboard at the end of the match, it tells us why we maybe didn't get the result that we got. And so, that's one of the things that a lot of what happens to us is we beat ourselves. Like I said, we're not all on the one, level of temperature that we need to be on. And so hopefully that is something that we want to bring tonight into our match, is all be on that same page, that same temperature, which needs to be hot, because if we're going to beat a good Parkway West team in a tournament and semifinals to go to the championship round, we've all got to come out hot. So hopefully we do.
And that's why you're WALE certified, Coach Guns. Way to go. All right. Hey, can you get me 10 more minutes, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the game now. You remember that?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the game, it went back and forth, magic. And let me tell you something about something. When several players get the ball on their feet and they hit that end line, they're not going to go out of bounds. They're either going to dribble into the goal, take a shot, or make a fantastic pass to an open player.
Right.
Yeah. And to defend against that, you have to watch your P's and Q's, because it is called PK, and as well as the game is subjective, everybody is saying, they don't say kill the referee, but they say, oh, come on. And
right.
Yeah, and many of ways about penalty kicks, you help by being creative. You put the situation at hand. Had you been lukewarm, you wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when you look at that game, the first half was, very, I would say maybe 60-40 Cor Jesu's favor when it comes to possession, which is still a really good, half. But all the goals that were scored, I think 2 out of the 3 goals that were scored in that first half were penalty kicks. And I think those 2 PKs definitely should have been PKs. The third one, I don't know. And, again, it's a big game. The refs it's a very anxious situation to be in to make a big call like that. But 4 out of the 6 goals were restart goals, 3 of those being PKs. But the thing is, with penalty kicks, or any foul around the box, like, that's another thing that Maddie DiMaria does so well, is she knows how to make herself so vulnerable going into space that she's going with such great speed and keeps the ball so tight on her that when she's going hard into that space, especially if it's near the goal into the 18, I mean, she's giving herself that vulnerability to, if she gets defended, it could draw a foul. And that's the part of the game. Yeah. And I tell my girls that. I'm like, listen, if you can create that vulnerability and you can, get that confidence to, as fast as you can, go at that one last defender before it's just you and the keeper, do it. Because what do you have to lose? Nothing, and it's like, I mean, the girl could stick you and get the ball, but the probability of that, if you keep the ball tight and you're using all of your speed going into that space, 9 times out of 10, you're either going to beat her or you're going to draw that foul. And that's the name of the game. I mean, that's part of it. And so, having that confidence to do that, and I mean, Maddie DiMaria does that very well. She knows how to draw that foul, and she did a good job in it. So, I mean, some of those, and I would say were legit PK, especially that first one, because again, she's man marked, and so then if another defender's coming at her, she's if she's going full speed with two girls on top of her and she falls, I mean that's a foul, and so she knows how to do that. And so but yeah, I mean, just the back and forth of the first half was very exciting. I think what kind of crushed Liberty a little bit was into the second half when they got that restart at about when Cor Jesu got the restart right inside the 50, and the girl just hit that bomb and it went over the keeper's head and went in. Remember, you and I were like, oh man, the keeper kind of judged it wrong. I don't know what she was thinking, but she kind of came off her line like she was going to, attack the ball, and then she kind of went back on her line and put her hands up, and the ball just went over her head. And I think at that point, it was 3-1, and that was just kind of like, I mean, I always tell my girls that third goal is what we call the dagger goal, and I think that kind of put that dagger in the Liberty. But what was great about Liberty is, although a 3-1 lead is a tough one to overcome, it's still doable, and they still had a lot of game left at that point. And they did rally. I would say nearing the end of that second half, they really put it on Cor Jesu, and they got that goal back, even though Cor Jesu did get another one. But at that point, it's kind of like your fate.
Yeah,
chances to win, but
those moments, sometimes it's not like Wales certified. You and I were able to do a redo because I didn't hit the right button. It's, you really have to really do something. And to me, I got chills when they scored that goal, Liberty. That gal went in, ran as fast as she could to get the ball, to bring it back and put it down. And yeah, and okay, so yeah, all right, way to go, Guns. It's good. The whole situation is that it comes up to where that guy takes the ball to set it, put it back down. We're ready. We're going to tie it up. We're going to get it. And it really is. To me, that's an essence, and that you're always in the game. It may not look, the stats may not be on the side of that, but man, it brings for entertainment. I tell you that when you're up in the stands, it's never boring.
right.
And
No.
and to the Chargers' credit, Liberty really put some pressure on, is that the one fullback make a magnificent individual play to stop a breakaway, or the keeper just throws out her hand and the ball sticks to it.
Right.
Yeah, holy cow, but that is the repetition, that's practice. That's the 1-2 that will allow you to do it when you need it.
Right.
So it wasn't luck.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, sometime to Wales certified, we took some selfies, and I'm telling you, we could put it in Soccer America, and people would say, "Man, I got to listen, to that broadcast." We took two selfies, magnificent. We had the same shirt on,
Yeah.
yeah, with the St. Louis High School Champions League logo. It's you got to have one in order to go around. And I'm sure. If you're at Oakville, you gotta get one of those WAOS shirts. I mean, you really done a good job with the swag out there.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we really pride ourselves on our way. So it's been around a long time. When Ruben came out with the acronym back in, I think it was the 80s.
No kidding. Wow. I mean, something new for one person is old hat for another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you were able to see it. I think you had already left. Yeah. Maddie DiMaria comes over with the Virtuoso Award from Select Soccer. I mean, the more magnificent ball with the game ball, but it's encased into a glass case for the Virtuoso Award. And I think you and we picked first that we said maybe at halftime that Maddie was going to win the Virtuoso Award. I don't.
Right. I know. I think
Yeah,
at that point she had 2 goals.
yeah. But like you, uh, the height is you know is something, but just there's the physicality of her structure of her body, like yours is unmatched. You really. It's not luck. It's not genetics with you and our Maddie to have the athletic build that you two have. You have to work at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, genetics is a part of anything, but whatever you've done epigenetic wise, which is anything beyond that, is going to make you that give you that greatness. So
There you go.
she definitely has that.
And I could imagine you were the same type of player. You're not supposed to fall down. When you're a soccer player, you want to be able to wobble and keep your balance, or be strong to keep up on your feet. You can't play soccer laying down.
Yeah, well, it also is hard when you're man marked and constantly girls are pushing on you and messing with you. So, I mean, like I said, and if you give it your all, you're going to fall on the ground. I mean, if you're going to run down the line as fast as you can and cross the ball, you're going to roll 3 times. But you're going to make sure that that ball makes it where it needs to go. So that's just what next level players do.
Yeah, and so closing it up a little bit, I want to get chemistry verification from you, Guns. Is that ball doesn't go where it wants to go without the person hitting the ball having uh, total permission, total. They're the ones that make this happen.
Right.
The ball doesn't is you know how you want it to go. You got to be able to get your body right to get it going to where you want to go. But
Exactly.
but it was a magnificent match. I thought it was set us a good standard for all future championship matches. And what would be your closing thoughts about the game?
I know. I thought that Cor Jesu, they are just they're what we call a juggernaut team. I mean, not only like we talked about earlier, is Maddie DiMaria just a force to reckon with, but they also have so many other parts to their team that make them successful. And they're just a great program and run by great coaching and all the above. And same thing with Liberty. I mean, Heidi does such a great job with those girls, and they have so much grit. And if you think about how they made it to the championship match, I mean, they almost um, almost tied Clayton in one of their games and scored with 4 seconds left in order to beat them. And then that's what gave them the edge in our pool. And then our match, we are beating them the entire game, and they come back and then they beat us or tie us with 57 seconds left. So if that doesn't show grit, I don't know what does. But for them to keep Cor Jesu at half, only trailing a couple goals, I mean, I think it was just a fun match to watch, and the team that that just had a little bit more of an edge came out with the W. But I'm excited for the future of Champions League. I think it's a great thing, and we're hoping to be in it next year.
Well, I tell you, there's no better place to be than tonight than to be out there at the Union High School. I believe it's kickoff is at 6:45.
That's correct.
I didn't see him play, but I just looked at him. That Parkway West Longhorns, they're ready to play. Are you gonna wear the black tonight? The black and gold?
We are. We are the home team tonight, so
All right.
we'll be out there in our black and gold.
Well, I tell you, it's quite a sight to see. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you without a doubt, if you don't go out to see Oakville, if you don't go out to see Liberty, if you don't go out to see Cor Jesu, St. Joe, go so on and on and on at their places. It's a beautiful place to visit, to watch, and you'll have a lifelong memory of what's going on. Girls' high school soccer is where it's at. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah, and you have a magnificent X account, Twitter account, the old Twitter, that with all your going ons, because you give out awards.
Yeah.
In closing, can you tell us about the awards that you give the girls after each match? Or
Yeah, so this year our theme is Tigre d'Or, which just means golden tiger in French. I kind of took it off of the Ballon d'Or, which is the golden ball award that's given it to the most phenomenal player in the world each year. That was kind of my idea with it. So this year our MVP of the match gets the Veste d'Or, which is the golden jacket award, kind of like what we do at the Masters. You win the Masters, you get the green jacket. So
Yep.
if you are the best player of the match, you get the Veste d'Or. And then our keepers, if they get a clean sheet, get a shutout, they get the KFA, which stands for Keeper Fights Alone award. So, yeah.
is that the boxing gloves?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And everybody gets the award, and then they bring it
That's right.
to the next. Yeah, I saw.
They get to wear it to school the next day.
Yeah, you go. There you go. Well, you came from the school bus right after school, I guess, to go out to Union, and I saw the gals get off the bus, and she had her boxing gloves on over her neck. I said, "Wow, baby." Yeah, but that number 8 yesterday. You remember that player?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's very good for Veritas. Yeah.
Isn't she? Yeah, and she's a freshman.
Yeah, no, she was a great player for them.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. As happens all the time, we want to thank all the sponsors for the St. Louis High School Champions League. Surf Pro gave those nice scarves. You have a nice scholarship from the hair salon. You got the, what do we got? We got the Swanson Masonry.
I mean, Fast Lane.
Fast Lane, the best is the best, yeah.
And then obviously Select.
Oh, how can you forget? Yeah, if you're not playing with us, I don't know. You got to talk to your athletic director. Hey, we got to get these Select balls. They're the best balls of them all. And someday I hope to have a Select house. You walk in and bang, and you're right there in Select. And I'll have a paint, and they'll color. They said, "What color is that, Wales?" I said, "Virtuoso." It's a Virtuoso color. I paint Virtuoso.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all that, now comes the time for you, Guns, to say, hey, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for.
Well, I just want to say, I'm always very humbled to be on your podcast, and it's always a great time, seeing you and being a part of Wales Certified, and this journey that we've been on now since the Champions League started has been, such a fun one. Now that it's complete, I mean, we have our first inaugural season has now come to a close with the boys and the girls. And, it's just such a cool thing that we've brought to St. Louis. And I'm just, again, very humbled to be a part of it, and hoping to be a part of it in the future.
Right on, right on. And you're a shiny star, the whole committee and everybody, that was one of the tenements or what hall of the Champions League is coaches coming together and having a relationship that is, very sportsmanlike and so forth and so forth. And I think we have achieved that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know individually we have, but collectively, I've met coaches that normally I wouldn't be friends with, but we become friends because that's the way we're supposed to be.
I agree. I love it too.
Okay, so I can't wait to do it again here, right here. You're well certified. You're well certified, Sarah Gunder, Coach Guns, and I want to thank you. And final close. If somebody couldn't get out there, could they stream? Would you have to have information on how to stream tonight?
I know that Matt Tennessee, he definitely has a streaming service. All you really need to do, honestly, is go to probably Union High School athletics on YouTube and live streaming. And if you search any of that, you will find the streaming site that they use, because that's what most schools are doing. So if you just go to YouTube and you just search the school plus just put athletics as like a buzzword and live stream, you'll find the school site, and then it will have the uploaded streaming of the games.
And then again, 3 times Wales certified. You're almost up to the record. Right. And so I want to thank you very much. And we did justice to the redo. Yeah. So the best of the day, I hope, sunshine follows you in the afternoon to get you out there to that game tonight. And that it will be, just a little damp pitch.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping that the weather obeys and we can get out there and have a nice game.
All right. Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
All right. Thanks, Wales.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'll see you later.